All right, let's get started in seated then. And let's come for some breath in a nice easy seat. So starting to inhale and exhale, nice and slow and easy. Really feeling your spine long here. And whatever today may have brought, just sort of let it fall away. And as we take these big, deep, full breaths in the belly, I invite you to imagine a boat in very shallow, clear water where you can see the anchor, the bottom of the sand. And every time the boat tries to move with the wind, the anchor gently tugs it back into its space. And so I'd like you to think about your breath, gently bringing your mind back to the present moment. And every time it wants to wander off, let that breath be the anchor back to the now. Perhaps you'd even like to think about a word or phrase that you can use to remind yourself of staying in the present moment. Something just as simple as now or breathe. Start to gently roll your head from side to side, maybe not all the way around if it doesn't feel right to do that, but just kind of releasing any tension you might have in your neck, in your shoulders, in your upper back. Maybe rolling the shoulders up, down, and away as well. As you continue to breathe, the eyes can be closed or gently gaze downward. And then we begin the cat-cow breath, seated. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, round and curl, pull away. And at your pace, inhale again, long, tall spine. And exhale, round and curl, pull away. I invite you to slowly move the body with the breath here, allowing not only to come back to the present moment, but to now make the connection between the body and the breath. Go ahead and find some big circles, using your hands to press your thighs and your hips open, going in both directions, really allowing yourself to feel free in the movement. Reversing the direction. And then back to seated tall. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky and catch your left wrist, bring it over to the right side. Look up towards the ceiling. Really opening out that heart and chest, not collapsing in, but really opening here. Maybe even letting the right hand float down to the earth or a block. Finding more space, plugging that hip down and really finding the energy from the fingertips all the way down the body. Coming to center again, catching the right wrist in the left hand, bring it up and over, feeling that space one more time. And then the left hand comes down and we find more space in the side body. and coming back to center again. Hands onto the earth, feet untucked behind you, tabletop position. We tuck our toes under, stretching out the bottoms of our feet, so really press into those necks of the toes, open the hands wide, and let the belly drop down. Take a big deep breath, broaden the shoulders and the collarbones, and then when you exhale, tuck all 10 toenails down, round and curl, really feel that stretch in the cat. Close the eyes if that's comfortable and allow the body and the breath to move freely together in cat-cow breath. Once again, making that connection to the present moment, but also to the body. And in any organic movements here that feel good, so maybe it's a dial back of the hands, stretching out the wrists, or maybe you're going to come forward and stretch into the hip flexors. Perhaps you want to pull back into child's pose, or maybe taking some big circles in dancing lion in both directions. So really just getting this organic body movement. And then settling into child's pose after you've moved your body. So you might still be moving or you might be heading towards child's pose. I invite you to press your palms together and reach them behind your head. Allowing your forehead to touch the earth, grounding in with the breath. We gently release the fingertips to the earth and walk your fingers forward as far as you can, lengthening out the spine. And then walk over to the right side, taking left hand on top of right, big stretch in the side body. Coming across back through center and off to the left. Again, big side body opening. And then back through center again, tabletop one more time. Lift the knees 2 inches off the ground, feeling the core really strengthen here. It might even start to shake. And then press back, first downward facing dog. Be up on the tiptoes, maybe walk out the dog, maybe bend the knees. So yogi's choice here to begin. Look to your hands, walk, step, jump, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway, hands to shins or thighs. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a little back bend. Maybe take the hands behind your head and let the head fall back. Really nice. Hands down to your side, mountain pose. Top of your mat. Sun salutation A, inhale, reach. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Walk or jump back to plank. And either take vinyasa or push-ups or just simply press back to downward facing dog. Your choice. Pressing back, downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance apart. Pigeon toe your toes slightly inward toward one another and press the chest back to the thighs. Pressing the weight out of the hands and into the back body. Come back to the breath. Shake your head yes. And shake your head no. Look to your hands, walk, step, jump, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. And inhale, rise again. And hands to heart center. Feet together, knees together, legs together like one big leg, and we sit back, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Walk back to plank. Lower down, slow and controlled, or just press back to downward facing dog, or add push-ups. Down dog. Right leg reaches and opens, finding space. And then step the right foot through in between your hands. Spin your back heel down to touch and rise up, warrior one. Release, touch the floor. Back to plank. Vinyasa or no vinyasa. Left leg reaches and opens. Step through. Spin your heel. Rise. Breathe. Vinyasa. Option to take child's pose here for rest or pause, or option to add more push-ups in if you're wanting more of a workout today. So yogis need to make a decision every single time we come through vinyasa if you need a rest or not. Several variations of child's pose. Hands can be out in front, they can be reaching behind you to the sides, catching your feet, or even sliding the hands through the legs. So whatever feels most comfortable is what you take, and then you'll take a few breaths here, really centering again and grounding into the moment. Maybe coming back to the word, the intention that you chose to bring you back present focused. We'll press back, kneading in downward facing dog. Look to your hands and come to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway, look out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit back. Chair pose again. And we stand tall, mountain pose. Sit back chair again, and fold. Lengthen, and walk back to plank. Jump your feet out, and in, and out, and in, out. In, two more. And then a vinyasa. Beautiful. Right foot steps through low lunge. Back heel spins, rise, warrior one. Been here before. Straighten out your front leg and come forward halfway. And then all the way down. If you'd like to step your back foot closer, you can. You can even come up on the back tiptoe. We inhale and lengthen, exhale and fold forward into that right leg, feeling the back of the right leg. And then in the next breath, we're going to rise with a little bit of a back bend. And then warrior three, come forward and balance. And back to warrior one gently. Release the hands to touch. Step back to plank. Jump out and in for 5. And vinyasa. Oh. Left foot steps through, rise up, warrior one. Straighten out your front leg and come forward halfway and all the way. Maybe stepping the back foot closer. Really feeling that behind the left leg. Inhale, rise to stand with a little back bend. And then coming forward for warrior three. Back to warrior one. Release your hands down. Step back to plank. Jump out and in for 5. And vinyasa. Down dog or child's pose with the breath. While you're here in down dog and child's pose, notice the respiration. Notice your heart rate and notice your breath. Walk your hands back to your feet, back of your mat. Hang ragdoll heavy, hands to opposite elbows, or maybe slide your hands under your feet. So take whatever feels right for you. And then slowly roll up halfway, and then all the way up, taking a back bend of your choice. Maybe a supported back bend. And back to mountain pose. Or you can take yourself hip distance apart and just do some figure eights with your hips. And once again, finding stillness at the back of your mat in mountain pose. Right knee comes to your chest, tree pose. Foot inside inner thigh, or maybe the floor, or above or below the knee. Let the branches float, and any variation in your arms that you'd like to take, go ahead and take. Step down, and then the left side tree. Once again, any variation of the arms. And step down. Inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, fold down to the earth. Walk out to plank. Right hand moves to center, side plank. Take the right knee down for a little less. And any other variation you like, maybe for a little more. Or something different. come back to plank and press to down dog, resetting the hips and spine. Shake your head yes again. And then back to plank. Left side, perhaps we can take the knee down here. So dial it up or down. You hold the intensity dial. Whatever feels right. Back to plank again. Press back downward facing dog. Right leg steps through. This time cartwheel open warrior 2. Pump warrior 3 times at your pace. 1, 2, 3. Side angle pose, just tip this over. Elbow to knee or hand to ankle. Maybe take a half or full bind. And then back up to warrior 2. Pump 3 more times. Effort and ease. Really come into that warrior 2 every single time. Hands to your hips and dial your right toes in. Hands behind you, open the chest and heart. If they can't reach like this, reach energetically or maybe reach the elbows. And then we come forward fold over those legs. Bending the knees so we find more space in the arms. Maybe lean to one side and then the other. So really organic movement here as well. Release your hands and look out. Lengthen. Left hand stays down, right hand to hip, maybe a twist. Thread this right hand underneath and through, catching the left ankle. Slide the left hand out and look underneath. And find more space in the twist. Notice where the breath is. And then bring the right hand down, left hand up for a twist the other way. Thread this hand underneath and through and walk this other hand out as you find more space right underneath there. Hi. Unwind and then come halfway up and then all the way up, turning your heels in and your toes out. And let's go ahead and take 10 little squats, either up on the toes or not. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to the warrior 2. Cartwheel the hands down. Step back to plank. Jump it in and out times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vinyasa. Up dog or cobra. Exhale, child's pose or down dog, rest. Option for inversion if it's in your practice here, or maybe you want to take a crow or something else. You're just kind of freestyling here. Maybe you're resting like I am. Or you deciding you want to add more push-ups in for strength. Downward facing dog, left leg steps up to the sky, and then steps through for warrior two. Cartwheel open, pumping warrior 3 times. Side angle pose. Maybe take a half or full bind. Back up to warrior two, pump 3 times. Hands to your hips, dial it in again. Release your hands behind you. Forward fold again, bend the knees. If this hurts or it doesn't feel right, hands can be down here. Totally up to you. But if it feels okay to really open those shoulders, then go ahead and do that. Inhale, lengthen. Come halfway up, heels in, toes out. 10 more squats. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down and step back to plank. From plank, jump to squat. From squat, jump back to plank. We're going to do 5. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Staying in squat, and if squat doesn't feel right, sit on a block or a pillow or sit on your bottom. If you're taking crow pose, take your crow pose. We're going to meet seated on our bottom, feet together, knees apart, band angle. Bound angle pose, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the chin forward, flat back. Bring the knees together, hug them in. And then slide the legs forward, seated forward fold. Maybe removing some flesh out from behind you. Inhale and lengthen. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring the right knee up to bend across the left leg. Left arm reaches around the leg. Right hand comes right up next to the body as a second spine as you take a spinal twist. to the left side. Back to center again and switch sides. So bring the left leg up, cross it over, hug with the right arm, left hand close, twist to the left. And counter the twist off to the right. And back to the center, hug it all in. We're gonna lower down, slow and controlled, onto our backs. Maybe rolling down on a 10 count, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet together, knees apart, reclining bound angle. If this doesn't feel good for you to have your legs open like this, keep them straight down. Hands behind the head, chin off the chest, come up for 15 crunches. Count to yourselves. And then bring the feet together, knees apart, and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Let them fall to the right. Hands behind your head. 15 more crunches. Count to yourself. Chin up, chest up. Center again, 15 more. And off to the left for the last 15. Hug it in and make some circles on the sky in both directions. Happy baby or straddle, or maybe just hug it in. Happy baby, feet come up, hands on the outside edges, pull them down. Straddle, obviously, legs come open straight. Yogi's choice here, you don't have to do any of that. And then the feet come down, raise the fingertips on the heels, lift the hips up for bridge pose. Chin off the chest, look straight out. Take 2 back bends, so 1 bridge and 1 wheel, or maybe 2 bridges. Release, and take a big good morning stretch. Hands down to your sides or onto the earth. Shake your head gently no from side to side. If you're more comfortable seated, you can go ahead and sit up against the wall, or if you like to be reclining, you can either lay on your back, or you can roll to your side and use your arm as a pillow, pulling your knees into your chest. Coming to the final part of our practice where we recline and lay down, or sit and breathe. So I invite you to come back to your breath, where we began at our breath, noticing the quality of the breath. Perhaps as the body starts to slow down, we come back to the metaphor of the anchor and the boat, bringing us right back to the now. Noticing what thoughts come in and what thoughts want to stay. Breathing slow and deep into the belly. Continue the breath strong and slow. Continue to breathe in and out, making that connection with yourself, the connection with all the parts of you. Noticing from the tips of your toes all the way through your body up until the top of your head as you breathe deeply in through the nose and out. And yogis, as you continue to just breathe and just sit in the moment, I'm going to read today's reading. It's called Release Guilt. Do whatever you need to do to release guilt, and do it often. Make this technique a regular part of your life. Guilt is a feeling. If it's there and you don't feel it, honor it, release it. Because it will block you and stop you. Guilt can control your energy and possibly control your life, like anything else that's denied and repressed. Acknowledging guilt won't make it more real. Acknowledging guilt will help release it. So write it out, talk it out, choose a way to let go of that. And then watch it leave. Because yogis, the past is the past. We can't change it. It can't be amended. And the future is unknown. So we have right now. We have our actions and our reactions. When you're ready to start to move your body again, maybe blinking your eyes open, wiggling your fingers, maybe wiggling your toes, and then slowly coming up to seated. If you have nowhere to be right now, I invite you to just stay relaxed right where you are for as long as you need. And as we come back together to our breath, feeling not only completely one with ourselves and our breath and our body, but completely together at the same time. And even though physically we don't occupy the same space, energetically we do. So yogis, I send you out the biggest hug virtually and energetically. And until we meet again, I wish you peace, love,